Let's also take a look at Pfizer here this morning in early stage talks to acquire biotech company Seagen. This is according to the Wall Street Journal, and this comes after Seagen and Merck, they failed to reach an agreement last year. Joining us here to discuss, we've got Yahoo Finance's Anjalee Khemlani. Anj, what do we know about this one so far, and especially considering how many different companies have been looking at Seagen for a potential acquisition?
Well, it's interesting that you talk about Merck. Of course, we know that deal fell through, but they already have a partnership with Seagen with one of Seagen's products. They are looking at regulatory approval of that right now. They got fast track designation of another. So really a lot going on with Seagen's pipeline, which is why it's of interest to all these companies. It's a late stage company, does have a couple products that are bringing in some revenue, does have fast track approval. So it's a really interesting acquisition target for anyone who's doing cancer like Pfizer. We know that Pfizer, of course, has its own cancer portfolio and has indicated in the past, including in interviews with Yahoo Finance, that it is going to be going after external targets to boost its pipeline. Already, we know it's facing a patent cliff with several of its products and has already indicated that they have about 15 or so other products in the pipeline that they expect to fill that shortfall of revenue in the coming years. So all told, interesting to see how it goes. The one interesting part of this, though, is that when Merck was pursuing Seagen, that rumored target was going to be about $40 billion for that acquisition. Now we're looking at Pfizer with more than 30, but it's interesting that 30 billion is where the value's at right now, and that's sort of where the starting point is. So going to be interesting to see how that goes through, whether or not there are any antitrust issues. We know that, of course, pharma is a very big piece of interest for regulatory authorities these days, so will be an interesting deal to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's been a lot of scrutiny on antitrust from all kinds of different industries, right? Pfizer also has been super acquisitive. And so this would just be the latest, although it would be larger than some of its other recent acquisitions as the company tries to sort of push past COVID. How do we sort of put this one in context, given how acquisitive it has been?
Well, it definitely is of the larger ones. We know that they've had a couple others like the blood therapeutics as well as Biohaven. Those have been smaller in the 5 to 10 billion range. So 30 would be one of the bigger ones of its recent acquisitions. Also, it's pretty cash heavy. We know, of course, the COVID vaccine has really been a boost for the bottom line for the company. They're sitting on upwards of, I think, 20 or so in cash. So it's a lot going on right now when it comes to what the company could be doing. They also do have an internal R&D structure, but they have indicated that there are certain ones that they don't necessarily want to make the investments into. So rather than building up the internal infrastructure, they're looking externally for some of these. So it's going to be interesting to see if they keep on track with these larger type acquisitions or go back to what they were doing with the 5 to 10 billion.
All right, Yahoo Finance's own Anjalee Khemlani, thanks for tracking all the moving parts on this deal and breaking it down for us in the healthcare segment. Appreciate it.